What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How's everybody doing out there in fish tank land? This is Joseph Harden from JH Aquatics, and today I want to share with you a special friend and a guest here on the show. You guys will find your way here, I guess, eventually. It's very, very unfortunate that Streamlabs OBS and Google or YouTube are not playing well with each other today. And I tried about 100 different times to go live, and it says there's something wrong with my streaming server, which would be YouTube. And then I tried to send an email to Rack from River Life through Google as an invite through Google Hangouts, and it wouldn't let him have it. He waited 10 minutes there for an email to come through, and it didn't even come through. So I had to send him a link through Facebook Messenger. So YouTube has failed me once again. Let's see if I can find the... either way, I don't know. I can't even see the chat yet because I'm having to pull it up and find it right now. Let's see. I do want to introduce Rack from River Life. Hey, Rack, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Joseph, I'm great. Thanks for all the effort to get me on board here, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. So now I can see the chat. Thank you guys for all of your support and your patience and hanging out and waiting in the other stream for like 15 minutes or lurking and waiting or whatever. But I do appreciate it very much. I guess I'll have to figure this out afterwards. I'm not much of a fan of Google Hangouts personally, so I'm irritated right now, but I'm just gonna laugh right through it. Let's see. So many awesome people in here right from the beginning. I got Daryl Dimmer, Chris from Multi-Tank Addictions. So many people. I can't even go through them all. Crystal Shack, Priscilla MK Art, Sharpie Models. Let's see. Pond and More, Sebastian, a good friend from the other side of the lake. And let's see who else we have. Oddball Aquatics. Haley, how are you? Good to see you here. Amber from Big City Betas. Welcome. Happy Sunday. And just thank you all for hanging out. And there was a super chat. I saw that in the other stream. It was a $2 super chat from Chris from Multi-Tank Addiction. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat. I really do appreciate it. So because I'm on Google Hangouts, I'm not gonna be able to share with you guys any of my I wanted to like hawk my t-shirts and my dried botanicals at you for a second before I brought Rack on, but can't do any of that now. So we'll just skip all that. I know Candy, if she's around. Thank you, Candy, for hanging out in here. I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you posting all the links that you're posting in the other stream already. Right before we even went live, you were posting links. You're awesome. But I think she's got access to those. I know that they're on my last stream, if nothing else, because I didn't have time to fill out a comment at this point. We just wanted to go live. Anyways, Rack, it's really nice to have you on here. I met you 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And at the Aquatic Experience 2017,
right?
And you really stood out to me because I just really enjoy your character. You're very kind of soft, mellow-spoken kind of guy. Like you just remind me of like one of the cool teachers that you have in college or high school or something like that. Don't take offense to that. I don't want to get too weird or creepy sounding, but you're easy to listen to, and I enjoy your content for that reason. And I appreciate all of your support for the hobby. Oh, not for the hobby, but for our community here on the YouTube platform. So you do keep fish now. What got you into fish keeping yourself?
I consider myself a lifelong fish keeper. My earliest childhood memories of having an animal in the house was a guppy bowl that my mom tended, and the little rainbow guppies this multiplied. They were prolific. And the fish bowl got bigger and bigger to house the colony until eventually, at a very young age, I got my first 10-gallon aquarium. And I loved it. It was like one of my best friends. And spent a lot of time with it and enjoyed nature through learning in the house, in the home with the aquarium. And that throughout my life has been a quality of life enhancement, I call it. So I see the aquarium hobby as a portal for an improvement in my quality of life, and I want to forward the hobby so other people can enjoy that also.
Right. Now, to me, it's a multifaceted thing. I mean, there is that simple like therapeutic side of just gazing into one of your fish tanks and just watching the fish flirt with each other, mate, or eat, or whatever it might be, eat algae off the glass. swim around and chase each other and defend their forts. But there's that, and then there's the whole, to me, part of it that's therapy for me as well is just the caring for them. You know, like I get into my own zone just cleaning tanks and, you know, trimming up an aquascape or something like that. Like that alone, that's therapy to me too. Just like someone who we got Peck Tech, he likes to paint little, you know, figurines that I don't even know anything about that hobby at all, but like I'm sure that to him that's relaxing and comforting and can be looked at as kind of a therapeutic thing. A lot of people, my sister actually teaches, or not at this moment, but she used to teach art therapy with young kids from inner city kids that have come from like torn homes or, you know, from really, really bad neighborhoods and don't even have parents anymore, orphans and stuff. And she would do art therapy. And to me, you know, scaping a tank or keeping your tank scaped, keeping it clean, that's, you know, there's an art to that, obviously. So
True.
Yeah, I see it as an enhancing. I agree with you completely. I don't know what I would do without the hobby. Like, I mean, I know I would do something else, right? But I can't imagine my life without it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to imagine what it's like without it. And I hear what you're saying on that therapeutic side. No matter what's going on in your world, you can get involved with your aquarium and it eases your mind. Instead of focusing on things you need to do or things you wish weren't going on, you're actively occupying your mind and your hands with something that brings you joy. So I think that's why the aquarium hobby is important. It's not just a pleasure or a desire or a preference. It's kind of important. And that's, you know, I like to hear people like Bob Steenfop promote aquariums in classrooms. If you can get a kid into aquariums and let them know that it's accessible to them, they're always going to have an outlet to pursue something that brings them a little joy, gives them a safe place, and they may become great at it. You know, I think of Joey Mullen, the king of DIY, talking about kind of a sordid past, but how the aquarium hobby and promoting the aquarium hobby on this platform changed his life.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear Rob at Flip Aquatics interviewing lots of people that talk about, you know, veterans and people who suffer from depression, finding an out in the aquarium, the fish keeping hobby. And you probably have a similar story. Somehow this came into your life in a big way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't want to get into that too deep, but yeah, I have my own rap sheet. I've done my time messing around and getting into trouble, but I don't know. You know, there's even little things now. Like I don't go out. I don't go to bars. I don't do any of that stuff. Maybe I'm like really geeked out now. Like I'm a nerd and I'm just sitting at home maybe too much. But like for instance, this evening there's a Super Bowl party. Like I could care less personally. No offense to anybody else, but I could really care less about that at all. Like I totally rather let my girlfriend, let her go to the Super Bowl party, and I'm gonna stay home and play with my fish. You know, I'm like, I think some people can spend a lot of time. Like I know people that are just spend time just staring at their phone, just scrolling through Facebook or this or that, and they kill like an hour of their time. For me, my problem is I could kill hours. Like I'll tell myself I'm going to clean my tanks. Like it's time, water changes. It's time to do water changes. And I catch myself just staring at the tank. Like, okay, you're not doing anything. You're not getting anywhere. But I mean, I'm enjoying myself. I could pull a chair up and just with a cup of coffee and just stare into the tank for an hour. And it's better than Facebook to me, but to each their own.
I agree.
So it looks like we had problems with Haley's stream. She also had a problem as well trying to stream. I guess she's using OBS, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully it'll get itself all figured out. Let's see. So at this point, you have like how many fish tanks do you have at this point?
Let me see. You know, I'm in the process of downsizing. I say that I'm in recovery from the latest bout of multi-tank addiction. I've got a 40 breeder, 3 20 longs, a 15 gallon, a 10 gallon, a 5.5 gallon, a 3.5 gallon, and a 2.5 gallon, and a 300 gallon stock tank with
What's in the
koi.
What's in the 2.5 gallon?
Nothing right now. I had
Oh,
a
okay.
few snails in a large plant that I was growing out. I got it as a hospital tank for a betta, and I
Mm.
got the betta all fixed up and moved it to the 5.5 gallon. And
Nice,
so,
nice.
so yeah, it's on standby for another plant now. I'm grew out and moved the plant that I had in it.
Very cool. Yeah, I
And
have
the
a little
three and a
extra
half
under the
gallon is
yard,
a,
so.
you know, the 3.5 gallon. This is a great story. Everybody can relate, to the supportive non-fish keeping spouse or significant other in the house. My wife's dad had I think it was at least a 75-gallon aquarium with nothing but guppies, and he loved his guppies. And when he passed away, we went to the house and collected some guppies. So the 3.5 gallon was like a purchase for a pair of small heirloom guppies, I like to call them, because it's very accurate. And it made my wife very happy. So I thought if a 3.5 gallon makes her very happy, um, I can just change her world for the better by filling up the whole house with aquariums. So I
Yeah.
took I took a little liberty there, and at one time I was in the high 20s as far as tanks go, and that was fun. I'll probably do that again. But they were project tanks. I got into live bearers and did a lot of wild live bearer breeding and passing along. And once I had experienced breeding the fish, the project just kind of evolved into another project. And I was hoping to get involved in a fish club. I really appreciate you saying that this YouTube fish tuber family is like our fish club. I don't have a fish club near me, and
Right.
it's a big motivation to get involved in those breeding programs, but it's just not logistically feasible to try and join as a remote member and participate in the breeding programs that involve sharing the fry, at club auctions and so forth.
Right, right, right. No, that would be
So
awesome. I dream of that opportunity or that situation where I'm in a spot where I can do that myself. But I feel like right now it doesn't keep me from breeding. Like that's something that I enjoy. I'm not just kind of want to have my community tanks and just keep fish. There's something about like conservation and keeping the
Mhm.
fish. I mean, I'm breeding them actually, so I still do my own thing. Like I'm not necessarily keeping track either. I mean, I'll kind of keep a mental list of what I've bred, but for
Yeah.
me, it's more about I don't know. I think maybe if I was in an area like you're talking about in this place where you actually do have a community and you have like
Mhm.
one or two or multiple fish clubs to choose from, a larger like tri-state area or something, and you can I'm sure I probably would end up getting involved and like start counting the species or something, but at
You'd
this
be the
point
club
is
curator. You'd have the whole collection of everybody in your
no, no,
lab.
no, no, no. Eventually, right, we get, but there's that, you're talking about having kind of downsizing. There is a point, I think, for most of us, have that multi-tank addiction, and you get up past 20 tanks, you get around 30, and then you realize, whoa, wait a minute, like there is a lot of work to do here now. Like I just created a huge monster. I have like water changes every day, or huge, full days of water changing if you don't do it every day or every other day. Anyways, I feel like you get to that point where like over 30 tanks, you need to be a little bit more like organized and structured and have a real fish room with waste in and out, water in and waste out. And you can actually,
Mhm.
treat large volumes of water and do automatic water changing. And that's I'm a plumber by trade. That's my dream situation, is to be able to have a full basement and have rows of racks that are just dedicated specifically to different species. Just bam, bam, bam. Have a cold room and a hot room. Go all the way.
I like it. I
And then
like your
maybe
goal.
maybe more of a snake room on the side. That's the thing I don't talk about too much, but I have a thing for snakes. But I know to me it's a responsibility, so I know that like it's time and place for that, and it's not the time and place right now.
Sure.
Anyways, let's see. So we can get into this. I was really curious about the Team Green Alliance. Because that's
Oh
really
yeah,
interesting. When I was hanging out with you, we were in the same hotel at the Aquatic Experience
yeah.
this year, 2018, or last year, 2018, and we basically had breakfast together pretty much every morning, didn't we? And you were explaining that to me, and we are going over it, and you're showing me like you had the green bandana, and I didn't quite get it at first. I was trying to like put it together. You were explaining it, and it made some sense, but to me, as it's kind of evolved over the last, since that Aquatic Experience, I feel like I have a much better understanding, obviously now, of what the whole thing is. But can you explain it?
Sure.
What is the Team Green Alliance?
Yeah. So basically, it was me building a community of YouTubers, fish tubers that wanted to help each other. And we all experience life through our own lens. I don't know what it's like to have a 10,000 subscriber channel yet, but I knew that at less than 1,000 subscribers, I felt like it was difficult to gain traction, even though I was putting in the effort, spending the money, and I just wasn't sure how to work the YouTube platform. And knowing, there's over 1 million fish keepers that like to watch YouTube videos. So the bigger channels, it's very difficult just because of scale for a much larger channel who's busy keeping their channel at the size they want it and growing to kind of reach back and say, hey, if you'll do these 10 things to your last video, it will get more views. I get that. Everyone's busy. And if someone offers you that has more experience than you and more success, consider it a gift, even if it hurts your feelings that your best and latest work is getting a little bit of a critique. It really is a gift. And I was kind of bugging people. Will you help me? Will you look at this? And I thought, why don't we smaller channels get together, and if we make a stone soup, if I figure out something and have a group of friends to share it with, and then maybe they figure out something and we keep sharing, I can see us small channels. It was my idea was a small channel, less than 1,000 subscribers, meaning that it was a lot of self-work, no staff involved, not a lot of connections with the big collabs. It would be a great opportunity for us to learn the platform together and to have more success and enjoy that success for whatever reason, monetization or introducing products to the hobby or reviewing products in the hobby, whatever you like to do, just showing off your goldfish. It seemed like that was a missing link, is a small channel support group. I would go on YouTube and find lots of YouTube gurus, giving you lists and things to do and things to try, but to be able to press the flesh at a convention like the Aquatic Experience and say, hey, we're kind of similar size to you, probably have some similar desires based on your content that I watch. If you'd like to, kind of work together, we can do that. So the Small Channel Alliance was the initial concept. And then I had some green bandanas from a leftover from a project I did years ago, lime green bandanas. And so I started handing them out to a few small channels that I'd spoke with and said, hey, you want to support each other on purpose. You just want to intentionally help each other. And everyone was like, sure. So I gave away 4 or 5 of these bandanas, and we were a group of small YouTubers, less than 1,000 channels that were going to help each other on purpose. And shortly after the Aquatic Experience, we started doing collabs together and sharing ideas, sharing information, little tips and tricks, like I mentioned.
Right.
And then DeFries Aquariums, formerly Racing's Natural Aquariums, Rob DeFries, asked if he could start a Facebook group with the name Team Green Alliance, because I had changed in little communication circles. I'd changed the Small Channel Alliance to the Team Green Alliance because of the lime green bandanas that we were identified by at the Aquatic Experience. And the larger channels, they were interested. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, they encouraged the smaller channels to help themselves. So we started the Facebook group, and it was very loose. Hey, fish tubers, let's get together. Let's come over here to the Team Green Alliance and help each other out. Well, so that thing just it outgrew itself immediately, like from 0 to 200 members or something quickly. with a few rules in place, and everybody, it was my concept, and we were just forwarding it on the Facebook platform, and the less than 1,000 subscriber small channel, it was like, hey, you know what? I have 5,000 subscribers and I feel like I'm a small channel. I have 10,000 subscribers and I feel like a small channel. I have 30,000 and I can help some smaller channels, but I'm not one of the big guys. So
Right.
again, that's where we see things through our own lens. I don't have that experience, but I can understand it now that, you think about it. Sure, anyone comparing themselves to Joey Mullen, 1.1 million subscribers, you're going to feel like a smaller channel. And we wanted to help each other out. And so we started kind of defining help each other out in our own ways. And I guess anytime you get a group of people together, you're going to have a group of opinions. So there were rules. Man, I was tired of hearing about the rules. There were rants and there were posts and there were rules. And it was like, and they weren't being followed. Basically, it was kind of like, this is just kind of a loose lounge experience. And so that turned out to be not widely accepted. And so eventually I rewrote the entire about section and said, okay, here's the basics. You have to be nice. It has to be YouTube tip related. And that's how we're going to help each other out on YouTube. As whatever size channel we are, we're going to be nice. We're going to share tips. So, and at that point, there was a poll on the TGA that the majority of the membership wanted. Yeah, let's get this thing under control. Let's make it a Facebook group about helping out each other on YouTube. So that was the majority of the poll takers, vast majority. It wasn't close. And so I wrote the about section with those guidelines. And so we had a few rules. It was kind of loose. And then we went to no rules. And then finally, we just had to lay it out. Okay, here's the fence. I don't like to use the term, but we're going to build a fence. And here's the content that's acceptable. Right. And so currently, we dropped a few members when we did that. That's cool. It's not your kind of place. You're not going to enjoy being there. No worries. No offense. And so we've got this guy, the water box on there now, Chung. He is amazing. He's got lots of YouTube experience, and he's literally creating workshops, how to do a better YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He's crazy about helping people out, and he's launching his videos from the TGA. So I feel like we brought 183 members, I think, today. We brought 180 people together to learn how to do YouTube better, because that's what they want to do.
Right. And I kind of think of the group as like a creator's place, like
there you go.
But for YouTube creator, I mean, they do have physical places. Like you go to some place like Manhattan, and you can actually go to like a creator's place for YouTubers, and they've got whatever you need, backdrop. They're gonna stages, studio spaces, and sound booths and all that stuff, so you can do your stuff there. But to me, this is kind of that, like it's a virtual creator space where you can come together and share things. I mean, I've gotten on there many times just to share basic things, that like editing software that I used, or how, just whatever I can give advice on. But yeah, there is that little sticky point of, it's a little touchy when it comes to like giving people advice. Sometimes I try not to anymore personally. Like even personally, people will come to me, try to keep it really vague, and it's not that I'm trying to keep things a secret or not share them with them. It's more I don't want to sound like I'm like belittling them or something. Some people can definitely be cannot take criticism easily. So I think it's better to just, for me, like I'll help to a certain point, but there's also a point where you just have to, you want to tiptoe around certain things, so you're not like come across being rude. Some people don't want to hear it either. I mean, some people, I know I get advice from bigger YouTubers. I collaborate off screen and, talk with people. And I've asked many larger YouTube channels, like, just be honest. Critique my channel. Tell me what's up.
You better have your thick skin on when you do that.
Right. And, you could walk away from that limping a little bit like, damn, what am I? Oh, what? Like, you feel like you're you're horrible. You suck at it. But you can't look at it that way. You really have to be grateful and respect the fact that somebody else who has already gotten there has taken the time to share with you their experiences on how they got that far and what they did to make it work. And they know, because their numbers are proof of that. And they didn't learn it overnight either. So I feel like it's more of a thing where you got to take that, be respectful that they're actually sharing their secrets or their knowledge with you, and take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, write it down and roll with it. I mean, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, as I say it too, though. There's a lot of times that there's everybody is on YouTube for their own reasons, and so someone's advice might not work for you because that's not the direction you're trying to go with your channel.
Well, this is my tip. This is my pro tip on consuming advice. Consider all the advice you get to be your options on a buffet. A buffet of options. I love the analogy. And then you take what you want and can use right away. And there may be some things that you need to mature into a little bit. You need to evolve into before they're useful to you. But the caution is, excuse me, not to spit on any of the offerings. Just leave them. Someone else may come into your collaborative world that can use those and help you use them. Don't spit on them. Just use the things that you want. And leave the things that you don't want kind of be. Don't invest a lot of your resources on negative energy over there. And I call that a functional approach. Take what you can use, be functional. Don't waste a lot of energy talking about why you don't like things you can't use right now. That's dysfunctional. So feed on the functional end.
I agree with that. Yeah, take what you want and leave the other stuff for someone else that can use that information, because yeah, definitely. No, but I think it's a really cool group. I think it's helped a lot of people a lot already. Just little stuff. And I do have to say that people like the Water Box, he's definitely he's helping a lot. He's got multiple channels. I mean, he's got his fish keeping channel, but I think he has a gaming channel and something else. And then he actually works for some other people. So, I think he manages some other channels and makes content for other projects. So, I mean, he's got a lot of experience, and I get advice from him too. I mean, just little stuff. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to learn from one person. You might think that, I don't know. I think that's another thing about getting together, like when we can actually get together at things like the Aquatic Experience or AquaShella.
It's awesome.
And my more favorite times is not either the event is one thing, but to hang out and have dinner or to have lunches and dinners with other content creators. And it's kind of like our opportunity to have a little bit of a creator space where we can cry about the analytics, or we can cry about Google and YouTube and share our experiences and our tips and our tricks if we choose to share some of our little personal secrets and stuff. And I feel like we all grow a little bit. Any event that I go to where I get to hang out with other content creators, I definitely walk away learning something from somebody. So,
well, I'll say you've got your head wrapped around the TGA concept. Our friend Mel over the Hawaiian Peacock, he calls it the Aloha Spirit. I think that's alive and well in the TGA. And the creator space, I'm glad you put those words on. I'm going to use that. The virtual creator space is exactly what it is. And my idea, the foundation, the cornerstone, was to give small channels access to that type of space, because I wasn't finding it as a small creator.
No, I mean, there's a lot of awesome content on YouTube's platform for sure. I mean, I'll be honest, what I didn't learn from other content creators personally, I soaked it up watching multiple different other creators that's their, Nick Nimmin and all those guys. There's like 10 top guys that you could really go to. And it's one thing to watch the video, but you actually have to do what they say to do. Like, that's the other half. Like, literally do it word for word. Don't skip, because I think what makes the content work, or and I'm not perfect at it by no means, but it's doing all of it, just like a good recipe, like cooking in the kitchen. I can relate it to that because that, as an analogy, because that's another place that I've spent a lot of my time is in a kitchen. And, you could do everything right, but like if you forgot the garlic or, you didn't put any salt and pepper, like you ruined the whole day. You might spend 2 hours in the kitchen, but you didn't put any salt and pepper. You didn't add the garlic in there with the olive oil when you started. Whatever. Like, I think it's that way with content on YouTube. Like, it's not just okay. You get one thing from somebody. Like, you need to implement all of those things together. Like,
yes,
title, description, thumbnails, tags, all that. Like, if you have something like TubeBuddy is really cool to use because it gives you that opportunity to follow a checklist. I think that's an option that comes with TubeBuddy. It gives you that checklist on the when you're about to post a video, and like literally follow that checklist. I try to follow it. I try to make sure that I get at least 12 to 13. I think there's 13 things on that checklist, and I try to hit at least 11 or 12 of them. I think number 13 is promoting it through other platforms like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So, if you do all 13 of those things, you're definitely
well, I think, Joseph,
on your way.
I use the free version of TubeBuddy and vidIQ, and I think their list is at least 7, maybe 9, even at the free level. So there's a tip for the small channels. If you're not using TubeBuddy, it's a free download, vidIQ, and there's lots of YouTube videos, tutorials on how to use those. And once you get in the habit of this checklist, like you mentioned, Joseph, your videos transform. You have definitely leveled up, maybe several levels, and you've done it in a much quicker time using fewer resources than if you would have tried to stumble into this series of good ideas. So definitely investigate, even if it's a little bit scary. I mean, I'm an old guy. This technology it's far beyond me. I have to have help to digest most of it. But I'm going to encourage everyone to do that. Check into that TubeBuddy and vidIQ. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Joseph.
No, definitely. When it comes to that side of it, like, it's really important. That one, and then Morning Fame. Morning Fame is also really good. But I definitely recommend, like, if you're going hard, like I said, there's an awesome community here on YouTube, and there's a lot of people that are just like, there's a side of it for me where it's just geeking out about fish. And just, I could go for hours. Like, I have friends that obviously don't live here on the island, unfortunately, but that I can sit on the phone for hours and just talk about fish for hours. Probably because I don't have anybody here, but I'm just saying, like, there's that part of the community where we're just some people that are not looking for subs at all. They're not trying to, they don't have like a business plan behind any of their or branding that they're trying to do specifically. So there's definitely different levels for people, but I feel like if you're going hard and you are trying to brand yourself and you're trying to create like a branding, and you have like a product that you've been working on in your head for years, and you want to actually have a way to promote it and sell it and use YouTube as a platform to do, you really want to go ahead and you want to pay for those, is what I recommend. Like, if you're really going hard, get the paid. I mean, start with the, test it out. But when it comes to Morning Fame and it comes to YouTube, TubeBuddy, the paid versions definitely give you, I think I'm paying $5.99 or something, $6 or $7 a month, I believe, for the TubeBuddy. I think maybe it's $10. Anyways, it gives you so many extra tools and stuff. Really make a difference.
Well, I'll tell you what else makes a difference is, we talk about going to these events, and I definitely want to talk about AquaShella with you. But you make friends, you build relationships. I remember I sent you a picture when we were planning this collab of our first meeting at at the Aquatic Experience in Chicago 2 years ago. So just ramping up to be able to do this live stream, I learned a lot about the live stream technology. So thanks for you helping me out directly that way and being patient. And I'm sorry for everyone that can see my shower curtain and clamps behind me. This is this is why you need a studio, at least something semi-permanent. And you may hear the parakeet in the background. That's my parakeet, Keat. And This is
Parakeet, Keet, nice.
Keith the parakeet. This is just the way it is right now, you know. And so, as I'm leveling up, there'll be some more tools, especially in the area of live stream studio. What you see, what I have to work with, and I love the learning curve. I love it, and I'm going to learn as fast as I can, and I'm going to acquire things as quickly as I can afford to acquire them. But this is part of, I don't know, being a lifelong learner, along with, you know, learning things in the fish tanks and in the hobby. It's so complementary in my world. Sharing. I've been a professional instructor for many years, and the old school train of thought of how to become an instructor goes like this: see one, do one, teach one. And those are actually three different phases of learning. After you become the instructor, train the trainer. You may have heard that term. But when you have that idea from the beginning, when that's your launch pad, you're going to see one, do one, and teach one. The learning comes faster. The ideas to look in different areas, it fortifies your concept with creativity, because you know you're going to not only see it, but do it. How am I going to do that? How am I going to make that doable in my space? And then you're also thinking about, how could I share that with someone else in case they wanted to enjoy it? It's almost a shortcut. It's a life hack. So, and doing things that way makes the YouTube platform, while doing this hobby, like a godsend. It took me a little while to learn how to turn the computer on, and now I've made a lot of friends, and I just kind of drop a dime. Hey man, will you tell me how to do this? And sometimes the answer is, let me walk you through it step by step. And other times it's, I found this tutorial YouTube video, so here's a link. And then sometimes it's a handoff, you know, I'm not sure about that, but I know so-and-so does well with that. So I stumbled into relationships there, and that's what the TGA is all about. Once we build our community full of relationships where we trust each other and have this open flow of communication, then we can have community growth. We can change the hobby for the better. We can make it easier for each other and broader. So I live in a utopic world. Like sometimes reality smacks me and kicks me, but that's where my head is.
Well, you're saying changing the hobby for the better. You know, YouTube, I try to keep in mind that like YouTube itself is not to belittle the community, but like it is just a small little fraction of the whole hobby. But I do agree with the fact that us as a community here on this platform and through Facebook and other platforms together in the social media, we can come together and we can actually have a true impact on the hobby. I do believe in that. And as most of you guys know, you know, as a good example of that is what we're doing this year now with this next AquaShella. Rob over there from Flip Aquatics and a few other main people, along with me. You got Creative Pet Keeping and Raised Aquaria, and a few other people are definitely trying to like turn this up a little bit and make a scene as content creators, as video influencers, quote unquote, so that, you know, that not just companies when it comes to branding try to keep our channels alive, but major nonprofit organizations and stuff can, you know, see us and realize that we can influence things and we can help them too. So it's really cool this year, AquaShella. We teamed up with, you've got a combination of the fish tube community and the founders of AquaShella, which is Sean from Prince Mardell and George from Coralfish 12G. Teamed up with them. They do a raffle at their event. Now, this is the second AquaShella ever, but they do a raffle at their event, and they're going to do, they usually, I think last year they did about $20,000 in funds they created from their raffle. And this year they're looking at somewhere between 20 and 40,000. And they've teamed up with all of us in the fish tube community to donate money to a couple of different causes. There's the Coral Reef, the Coral Restoration Project, or the Coral Reef Restoration Project, I believe. And I know I'm leaving it up to Candy to throw down the links here. But you have two different, you have a saltwater nonprofit and then there's also a freshwater nonprofit, which is the Project Piaba, which is out of South America, Brazil, and specifically Brazil. But anyway, so any content creator that makes a video promoting that, like technically this would count because I'm going over everything. I don't have all the rules in the description. This is not it. I have a video coming out tomorrow that is my official video for that charity, and I'll reveal which charity I'm picking and anything like that. But anybody who creates a piece of content in a FishTube community, I think one of the rules was like you have to have created content within the last year, you've had to have been active for a certain amount of time. I don't know what that part of it is. Either way, if you created a piece of content and explain the whole thing, and share which of the two charities that you're going to sponsor.
There's a good example of that in my last video. And I also was able to give a shout out to JH Aquatics Teespring offerings, which you've gone crazy on Teespring with the inventory.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So AquaShella is doing something incredibly creative with fundraising for charitable organizations that involve sustaining and thereby promoting our hobby. They're going to give away the raffle proceeds to the tune of $20,000 to $40,000 if fish tubers will get involved and do these videos promoting the event.
It's that $100 per video, right?
$100 per video.
Per video. So basically, for each of us to create a piece of content about that, $100 gets added to the pot from us as the fish tube. So I don't think it's all 20 or 40,000, but they're going to add up all of our content. I think there's probably been about 10 videos made so far just in the last few days. I've been trying to keep an eye on that hashtag that you have to add that hashtag to the video. But definitely go look at Rob from Flip Aquatics page. He does have like all the details in there. But you've done your video, and a whole bunch of other people have already created their video. But
what's going to, in addition to that, it's another opportunity for the fish tubers to get together and rock the world a little bit. So
well, it's just an example to me. I think it's just we can actually make a difference. You know, we might just be a small community on a small platform in the world of, you know, not that small of a platform, but a platform on the internet, social media or whatever, a small community. But I feel like in the end, we can actually we can come together. We have some power. We got some things that we can do together.
Aquatic Experience this year, that the Aquatic Experience staff were coming from behind the curtain, and they were interacting with many of the fish tubers because they'd watched our videos where we promoted the Aquatic Experience event, and they were very appreciative. And now it's not uncommon for me to get a comment on a video from the Aquatic Experience brand. So we're
that's actually her name was that Mama Bear. There's a lady that handles the marketing for the the Aquatic Experience, and I can't think of her real name, but we all called her Mama Bear. Mama Bear at the Aquatic Experience. But she was the one that was taking some pictures. But yeah, she's the one that keeps up and manages the Aquatic Experience Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, all that. So yeah, she's commented on some of my. But that's who's making the comments is Mama Bear.
Thank her. She's awesome. And you know, the thing we talked about at Aquatic Experience was there were over 50 YouTube channels there with more than 1,000 subscribers. So the content released because we were there was enormous. I mean, there was a wave felt. And I don't know, do you know how many fish tubers we're expecting at AquaShella? It could be
we were originally expecting 30 that were on the t-shirt. There was like 30 on the t-shirt that had confirmed ahead of time, so they got printed. But there was a lot more than that. We all know that. You had like New York Gold was there. There was tons of channels that were, you know, MHOW9, just a bunch of channels, Salt and Fresh. That
Kripke the Chameleon.
Yep, Kripke. Yep, and him and his wife. And,
well, do you know how many are going to be at AquaShella?
I think it's going to be a little crazy. I think we're going to change things. All this lighting you see behind me, I'm bringing all this lighting, and I'm going to use that at our YouTube booth. It'll be backlighting, uplighting at the actual the fish tubers booth at AquaShella. That's kind of my contribution to the booth. So it's definitely going to turn it up. It's not going to be like the Aquatic Experience. It's definitely going to be different. I mean, when you have it founded by someone like George from Coral Fish 12G, I mean, you have an actual, it's founded by a YouTube content creator and the head sales rep for Fritz Mardell, which he goes to every one of these events and he gets it. And I just think that AquaShella is going to, it's kind of like it changes. It's a different way to celebrate the hobby, and I feel like it brings a lot more youth involved. It's more of a fun experience. It's not so much like the aquatic experience. It's more like a trade show, like a corporate trade show kind of event. AquaShella is going to be more like a you know, an EDC show, or you know, like more of a concert. I mean, you're going to have live DJs. You've got all of this art installations. You have multiple rooms. There will literally be a I'm trying to get Sean from Fritz to get on here and interview with me before this event.
Okay,
but there's actually going to be, there's actually going to be the what do we call it? There's going to be the Amazon room. So it's not just going to be fish in there. There's going to be arachnids. There's going to be, you know, you're going to have spiders, snakes, all different kind of tortoises. There's going to be so many different things in that Amazon room that's going to cross the boundaries, not just fresh and salt water. I think that's cool too, kind of incorporating it all, but and making it fun for kids, which to me,
right,
we were just talking about that earlier. It's so important to me. Like the thing that a young person can learn from this hobby, like to me, it crosses so many different areas. I mean, not just responsibility, but respecting nature, understanding nature, you know, just the responsibility of caring for something else, like parenting skills. Like I feel like there's so many different things that a young person can gain from being involved in the hobby.
No question about it. And people like you who are concerned about that are going to make that difference. So respect, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun though. I think AquaShella is going to be a little bit more of a party in a way. Like that's how I've been getting the vibe I've been getting from the look of it from last year. I feel like it's going to be a little more fun. It's going to be a little bit more of a party. It's going to look a little bit more of my background here. That's why I bring in the lights, because it's like there's so much craziness going on, and from what I've seen on the videos and all the lighting and the special effects and the stuff that they're doing, incorporating like fog machines, and it's going to be crazy. So like we got to stand out too. So I feel like the Fish Tube booth has got to be popping too. We got to.
I'm sure that it will. And you bring your lighting and things, it's going to stand out. And I said in my video, in the last video talking about AquaShella, that's the full show. It's the contest, Amazon room, saltwater, freshwater, contests, giveaways, fish tube family. I mean, if you're a fish tuber, this is something you're not going to want to miss. If you're a hobbyist, you're going to have a good time just walking through the place. I love art, and they've taken art to another level with this UV blacklight fluorescent odyssey that they've created. The music is pretty intense on the videos I've seen. I'm just so glad that I'm able to go this year, and I hope that if there's a chance for anyone else to go, if you're considering it, if you're on the fence, just decide, just come on over there and hang out at the Fish Tube booth with us and see what's up.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4, 3 days. I feel like it's
March 30th.
I feel like I have to be there, right? You know, yeah, March 30th and 31st. I feel like I have to be there. Like it's like my people. I can't imagine not missing out on that. I would be so bummed to miss out on it, to be honest. For sure. And I guess we're gonna be doing games too. I heard from Rob that they're gonna have some games like at our booth that we're gonna try to do some kind of interact with the people passing by more than just like signing T-shirts and passing out posters and stuff like that. As far as I've been told, we're gonna kind of have a little bit more of an interactive booth this year with some games, and then we'll still have, like we got lucky with last year, we had the TV and we were able to live stream through Rob's channel. We did like I think it was like a 2-hour live stream, and we were just like playing musical chairs and just rotating through, and everybody who wanted to get in front of the camera had a chance to get in front of the camera and hang out and chat. I don't know. That was a nice change to see that happening, and it's going to be cool that that they're going to keep up with that. and that we're gonna get. I don't know who's donating the TV, if Rob's bringing one or something, but it's been told we'll still have the TV thing again. We might not have the red couch. We might not have the red couch, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
Who knows what color the red couch is when you put those glasses on?
Oh, right. Well, it's awesome to see everybody hanging out in the chat. There's so many people. We got people here from around the world. We got someone in here from India.
V-Stag showing up.
Yeah, V-Stag. And I miss him too. You know what? Because like I met him at my first aquatic experience, 2017. And we hung out for a while. We got to really talk about life and stuff. And yeah, it would be awesome to see him there too, if that works out. Then you got Mark Shrimp Tanks from Norway, which he was on my show not too long, like last week. But
that was a great live stream, by the way. He was awesome.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, and it's really cool to see, like, just like me or like you, like living in a place where you're really kind of out of connection with a community, and that's where this community comes into play. You know, hanging out here on YouTube, it's an extension of the hobby for me, and it's kind of like my little bit of a fish club community. And you know, I hang out and we chat and we geek out a little bit on a stream or something and make my videos and whatnot. But in the end, you know, you make real friendships, and then I end up talking with those people on the phone. Absolutely. Or having a private Google Hangout and share
virtual friends become real friends. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing I learned from, especially when I made it to the first aquatic experience and really got to like just hang out. Like I say, not so much in the convention, because everybody's kind of like professional to a certain extent in there in front of everybody. But when you can sit down at a table and have lunch with somebody and really get to know them, and then that's where you're making like true friendships and realizing that, like, you know, keeping in mind anyways that we're all real people with feelings and
right
and stuff like that. You know, we're not robots. This is not some Max Headroom stuff. Like, we're real people, and we
You know, I really enjoyed hanging out with people that appreciate your content because they know the effort. They can tell by watching your video the effort you're putting into it. And if you're just a casual observer, you don't have any idea the hours and the places and the space. And it's really cool to be associated with some like-minded people that can appreciate your effort, and you can share that appreciation with them.
Yeah, while you're learning from each other too. But yeah, I think that some people that just watch this kind of content and don't actually do it themselves, they don't necessarily, we were talking about this earlier, they have no idea, like what happened for the last 20 minutes before we could actually go live. It was like, you know, there's the stuff that goes into creating it, or the amount of work. Like, this doesn't look like much right here, but the amount of work that I have to do just every day to set up for this, like, because I use these same lights to film stuff around my house and in my fish room and stuff. So like, I got to set up the camera, set up the lights, everything, and just get the place ready, and then check everything again and make sure it's all working right.
Let me say this, Joseph,
put an hour into getting ready.
You make it look easy. You make it look like it's easy because it's always smooth. You got the lights going on there, the fish tanks in the background. Oh, that's nice. But if you were to take a picture from the other side and show all the cords and all the computers and all the lights and all the controls,
I wish I could pick up the camera and show you. I wish I could pick up the camera, but it's like locked in place on the other side of the table. Wires are taped and stuff out of the way. No, it looks like a mess. I mean, I've got 4 lights blinding me in the face right now. It doesn't even look like I have a lot of light on me, but you know, you get that eye headache from having a bunch of incandescent bulbs blinding you. But it's the price you pay. I don't know. You got to love it. I think that's part of it too, that people forget.
For sure.
I think the one thing that I wanted to get onto is that a lot of people will like get into content creation and creating content on the platform with an idea or a goal. And some people get discouraged, you know, after the first year or something. Yeah. And it's like, you really have to love doing it. You can't just want to get something out of it and be doing it for that reason, because you'll burn out. It'll get old for you and you won't want to follow through. You really have to enjoy playing with the lights, setting up your camera, working with the audio, editing through it in Editing Suite. You know, just as much as you love the fish, honestly, to really get somewhere.
You know,
I don't
on
know.
that, Joseph, I got the best advice in the beginning I could say I ever got was watching one of Corey's older videos, Aquarium Co-op video, where he says, you know, if you're going to start doing YouTube, you need to look at it like a 2-year internship. Don't
At
don't
least
don't
at least 2
expect a
years.
return. You just go into it like it's a 2-year learning program. And I thought, you know, that's okay with me.
And that's
If
just the
people,
beginning to me. The first 2 years,
well,
like I'm a year and a half in, and it's like, to me,
you're
10,000 subs is not really, it's not
you're
that much. It's
you're not finished. You're not.
no, it's just to be, it's not even just to be like, I'm still interning.
Well, to speak
You
to
know,
you, talking, encouraging people not to give up. You have to do it because you love it. You
exactly.
gotta have some realism. Look, I've been doing this for 18 months, and if I look back at my first video and my last video and compare them, it's a
Right.
very steep learning curve.
Right.
So
So that's, I mean, you have to look at that, be proud of yourself on that. I mean,
exactly,
I think
and
everybody should, I think everybody should do that. What you're saying, like, if you've been creating content for a little while, go back. I mean, I've done it. It's cringing to look at the old stuff, but look back at like your first videos and then look at what you're doing now and realize I have gotten some, like I've learned something and I have evolved.
we all want the microwave experience where we wake up and we've got triple the subscribers we had before we went to bed, but it's not a microwave situation. It's a marinate situation. And if you do this for 2 years, chill out. If you're, you know, you feel like you're spinning your wheels, keep learning, keep uploading, and then take a time frame and compare yourself to you instead of the guy that's trending or the girl that has a larger channel than you do, and enjoy your success. If you're putting forth effort and you're being positive and you're making new friends, that's sometimes more important in life than a high subscriber count. But oftentimes, if you'll keep up with that consistent effort, you'll be rewarded with the other numbers in the columns that you want to see the increase too.
Right. Like other people say, this is not a, it's not a race, it's a marathon, you know. But and you, and for me too, and this goes into life. Like I used to preach this earlier in my channel. I used to get, I'm trying to get a little philosophical, but to me, it's, you have to enjoy the journey, and that's for everything in life. It has nothing to do with being a video influencer, content creation on YouTube. Like you have to, and whatever you do in life, you have to enjoy the journey, not the destination. You know,
True.
it's, you can't be looking for something up here. I mean, yeah, you can have goals,
Sure.
but I don't feel like that's the most important thing. Is you have to actually be enjoying that journey. Like if you know, you have a job where you get up every day and you're excited to go to work, you're enjoying the journey. And that's part of, like, to me, that's the key to happiness. You know, to me, the dreamy idea of getting to create content, work with animal conservation, and help and share that with other people, educate other people maybe along the way, and promote, you know, nature conservation and all that kind of stuff. Like to me, that's like a dream. Like if I can get up every day and do that for a living and actually pay my bills, like I've like fulfilled my quest for happy. Like I'm content.
Yeah,
I
you're
can do that
living the
until I
dream.
die. Like, you know, people that I really admire are people like Camp Kinnon, where he's actually, you know, he doesn't even let people into his property. It's not like he's created some, like, you know, petting zoo where, you know, school groups come in every day and he's just banking money and he's just showing off the, like a zoo and just showing off animals. He's doing it for conservation, and he doesn't want people, you know, he keeps it private. You know, you can't just come roll up onto his house and hang out with him. But he's doing the real work. And
True. And you can tell he's passionate about it. He loves it. Oh, by the way, the water box showed up. Hey, buddy, we gave you a shout out a minute ago.
Yeah, we've been talking about you. His ears are burning probably. Or somebody will be like, somebody will text me and be like, dude, they're talking about you in the stream. Like,
better
like,
get
what?
over there.
Yeah, run over there. What? Who's talking what? Oh boy. No, it's a cool thing, but I feel like I still got to go back to that. I mean, it's just, you have to enjoy the journey of the whole experience in life. And if you can do that and you actually enjoy hard work, whatever kind of work it might be, if you're actually enjoying it, then you're on your way, you know, and you're going to, I don't know, you be happy, you know. I don't know. I don't like the idea of going to a job, and I don't agree with going to a job where I mean, sometimes you got to make ends meet and you got to do what you got to do every once in a while. But you know, even with I'm just laid off right now, honestly, which is unfortunate. But if I were to, you know, be going to my day job, to me, my day job is just like, it'd be just to be making money. Like I can't wait to get off of work, come home, play with my fish, feed my fish, video, film, edit, stay up all night editing or whatever. Like that's where my happiness lies. So yeah, I go to my day job to pay the bills and do that. But I don't know. In the end, you just have to, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it anymore.
Well, I think for me, and I think many of the fish tubers, it's that golden opportunity to be able to share our hobby. And for people who can't visit our fish room or see how we aquascape the latest tank, we can make a video and we can put it on YouTube, a free platform, and share it with anybody who wants to tune in. Is a really cool opportunity. And then when you learn, oh, it's a virtual community and it becomes a real community. And if you want to get better at it, you can. And so I think it's worth an effort to preserve some safe space. And that's what I was trying to do with the TGA, is to make sure that you're not going to get criticized for asking a question. It's a safe space where you come in, you ask your question, and we'll find an answer for you. And it's more of a, if you want to critique, ask for it. People will be happy to critique you, but it's not, hey, come in here and get bashed and beat up type of deal. And people have different ways of communicating, and that's okay. I'm just saying that the TGA is a space where we're going to be kind and we're going to be positive, and people are going to feel safe in expressing their views and not feel attacked by responses.
Right. And so other people know too that, so there was kind of some rule changes there made. People, and I was doing it too, was posting my events that are coming up, like posting and using it as a place to kind of advertise. I know I was only advertising to other content creators, but some of us definitely support each other and we'll share each other's content sometimes. Anyways, but it seems like that's kind of can really clog things up, and it's not really the place to be like advertising and promoting your content. And I agree with that. So it seems like some people have created another group, which is the fish tuber notification. I believe, I don't know exactly what it is called.
No, you got it right. You got it right.
Is that what fish tuber notifications or something like that?
What?
So that's a good one to be, you know, to like a Facebook group to be part of, because pretty much anything within the fish community that's happening, anybody goes live, somebody's posting that on there. Or you could post it yourself, I guess, technically. I've done it a few times, posted something on there. But that's a good place, and it kind of keeps things separate. Oh, that's what it is, right? It's the Fish Tuber Notification Squad.
Yes.
Yes.
I use that for my videos and get quite a response. I was really shocked at a response I got recently when 70% of my external views came from Facebook. I wasn't accustomed to seeing numbers that big. And just for clarification, you can still post links on the Team Green Alliance page, but you can't just drop a link cold. You have to drop a link and then describe something that will help another creator understand, like a tip or a technique that you employed. And then the link serves as a demonstration of what you did, so that they can maybe play around with that editing technique or whatever it was.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing. And I feel like a lot of people are learning, you know, are getting something out of it. And that's what it's all about.
So many goals are being reached, and people are being encouraged every day. And it's great to be a part of something like that. And it's difficult to administrate. You just want to play. You want to play with all your friends. And then the administration portion, you know, you get emails and messages that just, you know, things you have to deal with that aren't fun. Okay, it's like eating the crust on a piece of bread or a piece of pie. You know, I'll eat the crust because I'm going to enjoy the middle part too. But it's great to see people reach goals, to establish goals, to make friends, to meet people, to share, you know, our content with each other. I've discovered several channels on the TGA that I didn't know were a part of the Fish Tuber family.
Oh, me too. That's why one reason why I keep up on it too is just trying to keep up on who's new and what new channels we've got going around.
Hey,
I
I see
took
One Fish, Two Fish was in here.
yes,
Hey,
she's still
hello.
here,
She's been
Elizabeth.
lurking because of projects. She started finding some gems, like tiny hidden channels, and sharing them. And it was
Oh,
like,
cool.
we say there's no small creators. Some of these small channels that were new to YouTube, had a low subscriber count, doing awesome content, beautiful fish. So, I mean, that's quite an effort. You have to search for that. YouTube's not going to feed you those small channels. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Good,
there's that,
good
and
job, One
and
Fish, Two
search
Fish.
and search is really important. People, I don't think, understand how to use the search within YouTube. YouTube. I mean, this is something I've known for a long time. I don't know if everybody knows about this out there, but when you search through YouTube's search bar at the top, it's automatically searching based on relevancy. So if you want to catch everything and not just what YouTube thinks is relevant to you based on what you've looked at before in the past, you want to go into the settings of that search bar. You can go to the settings on the right-hand side and change that search settings from relevancy to things like videos in the last 24 hours or videos with the most views or whatever. There's different settings you can change it to. And that's how I've found really small channels and new channels, is actually doing a raw search through YouTube. If you type something in the top, that's not a raw search. Like, that's not just going to give you every little tiny channel, like a channel with like 2 subscribers or no subscribers that just put out their first video. You're not going to see that if you just use that regular search with based on relevancy. So to get an honest search, especially when you're looking for new channels and other stuff, like, to get an honest search, you want to change that from relevancy, and that goes back to trying to like optimize a video and look for a proper title.
Well, thank you,
you're trying
Joseph. I didn't know that.
No, you didn't know that? No. If you just go into YouTube and you go to the top and you type in something in the search bar, if you were to look at the settings in there, it'll show that it's searching based on relevancy. And that's kind of, yeah, it's filtered. It's filtered based on you and what you've watched in the past. So you're not going to get like a real clean search. I learned that when I was trying to do, trying to build my channel in the very beginning and optimize my videos and searching up keyword phrases and stuff like that, but also trying to find new channels when I was doing the hashtag FishFamNews. There was a lot of small channels that I wasn't seeing their content because they were just too small and they didn't have that power to get themselves in the search right up in the top few pages or whatever. So I'd have to change those settings so that I could actually find those channels.
That's a good tip. And on the idea of tips, is there anything else you could drop right now that we could share in the TGA that would help creators maybe try something new or look in a different direction to learn some information? What's your best tip you could give a content creator, up and coming content creator?
I don't know. The biggest tip and something I keep trying to preach to people is don't worry about like the number stuff, like especially the sub count, because the sub count doesn't matter if nobody's watching your content. It doesn't matter if, you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying there, but I'll tell you, it did matter to me when I was less than 1,000 subscribers. I felt invisible.
Right. I think when you're that first push at a certain point, you want to create a little bit of an audience, but to me, you'll get a bigger audience if, rather than focusing and every day going to your computer and looking to see how many more subs you have, to just really focus on you and what you're creating and what your goal is, what your focus is, what your channel is to you and what you want it to be, and really sit down on paper and it's like a soul searching kind of experience to me. For me, it has been. You got to focus on the content, because you could have 100 subscribers, but if you make a video that has an awesome thumbnail, an awesome title, and description that matches, and the proper keyword phrases and whatnot in your in phrases, not keywords, but keyword phrases in your keywords and your tags, and then Like you might end up having a video that has 300,000 views, but you only have 100 subscribers.
Those are crazy numbers. Don't even talk to me like that.
No, I mean, it can, I mean, my first, I put a video within my first month of being on YouTube has 171,000 views. And I probably had less than 2,000 subscribers when that happened. So it wasn't about the subscribers that got me those views, which for YouTube, it's your overall watch time minutes and the views and the view duration of your videos that YouTube is really looking at. If you go into the analytics of YouTube and you see what they put up there, they put that up like you could organize your YouTube like analytics page however you want it, move things around and customize it. But they set it up there a certain way for you for a reason. Because that's what is important to them. Your average, your watch time minutes and your view duration, they put that at the top because that's what they want you to be looking at, because they know that that's what their algorithm is looking at. So I don't know. My point is, making good video, making good content is more important. Focusing your time rather than worrying about what other people are doing, how many subs someone else has, how many subs do I have today. Instead, you should be sitting down, and this is from my personal experience because I've been there myself, is like, what's more important is sit down with a pen and paper and make bullet points and create a video. Like, think it out, plan it out. Yeah. I'm going to put the camera over here. This is going to be like this scene, and then I'm going to move to this scene. I'm going to set up the lights over here, move the microphone and do this, and have it like literally plan it out. Don't just like wing it. I know so many people that just improv the whole thing and wing it. And if you're that awesome and talented, then you're awesome and talented. But most of us will like go to film something and we're like, blah, 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 blah. Like, what am I did not write anything down. Like right. That's my best tip probably is to write it down. I guess if I had to pick one thing would be, plan your videos, write them down, research ahead of time, know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, don't embarrass yourself and make a video about it that everybody else can rag on you about.
That, Joseph, awesome answer to my question. Thank you.
I don't know.
Much.
I could go on. I could do a whole live stream on
that's
that.
That's it. That's the nugget that we were looking for right there. Plan your work and work your plan. Beautiful.
Yeah,
thank you.
Do it. But don't worry about the numbers. Let's see. I'm just trying to look through the chat here. Should probably get out of here because I've definitely gone over an hour now.
We got the Super Bowl coming up over here in the U.S.
What's the Super Bowl? I don't know. I know right now that it's
over at the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, I'm sitting here sweating. I know nobody wants to hear that, but I have turned the air conditioning off so that it doesn't make any noise in the background. So my apartment is getting close to. We're hitting. The tanks actually keep my apartment cool because the cold mass of the water actually makes it take longer for the place to heat up, which is cool. But yeah, it's probably about 85, 87 degrees in my apartment right now. It's probably hotter than anybody wants it in their home in the middle of winter there. But yeah, I'm sweating. Dan Slee, what is up? Thank you for the $2 super chat. It's nice to see you in my chat. I see him around on all the other chats. It's nice to see him hanging out in my stream.
Hey, have we said hello to Greg Jones? He's been in and out of the chat.
I said hello in the chat, like I texted it out. But yes, definitely hello to Greg Jones. And you could shout out, you have an affiliate link, don't you? Are you not an affiliate?
No. No, I do all of my work gratis.
Yeah, you do a lot. You do a lot more content for my aquarium box than I do.
I do it every month. I get the box. I love it. I do the unboxing. It's not paid. It's not sponsored in any way. I do it because I love it. I think those guys single-handedly improved the hobby. They didn't wait for permission to do it. They had an idea. They took it to market. They're making it work. They're working their butts off. And they give me, listen, I go to Aquatic Experience. I walk over to their booth. What's up, guys? If I've got a product I can't find on the shelf, I can tell them. They speak directly to suppliers and manufacturers. And I now, as a hobbyist, am directly linked to the manufacturers through my aquarium box. And it was an organic grassroots startup. They went from the basement to the aquatic hobby world. And I'm so proud of those guys for doing that, for setting an example for all of us. This is how you do it, and it takes a lot of work, and they need a lot of support. So I'm happy to be a supporter of the My Aquarium
Yep.
Box.
I agree. I feel the same way. I just posted the link in there. I am an affiliate. It's the only thing that I'm affiliated at all with is My Aquarium Box at this point. Because I have to believe in something if I'm going to promote it at
Right.
all when it comes to another business. And I totally believe in what they're doing. It's a total, like you said, grassroots. It's, from the ground up. It's like a family business. And I get it every month and I love it. And, it's, and I don't even take, be honest. He tried to offer me personal stuff. But he tried to send me my money for my affiliate link, for the sales that were made. And I didn't want the money. He sends me a lot of really cool stuff in the mail. And those My Aquarium boxes are awesome in the first place. I pay for my Aquarium box every month still. Just, I'm there to promote them because I want to see them succeed. So I'm kind of in the same situation with you. Like, I consider myself an affiliate, but I don't even take the money. I mean, to me, I think they need it more because I want to go in their pocket to help them build their business.
Well, even if you did take that money, you've earned it, and it's a good commerce exchange within the community. So don't feel any shame over ever doing that if you decide to.
Right,
but
I agree.
I didn't ask for anything. If they offered it to me, I don't need it. And I'm in a position where I really like being, the non-commercial voice. I put affiliate links in my videos. Don't get me wrong, and somebody bought a couple of items and I made $1.44. So I'm not commercial free and I'm not on a pedestal. No one should earn any income. I'm all about we generating our own commerce, just like the My Aquarium Box guys are making part of their living from doing the My Aquarium Box, making the hobby better. So I don't want you to feel any shame for ever not taking money because you've earned it.
Right. Oh, I want to say thank you to How9, the Fish Barn.
Hey, Mike.
Mike, he threw me a $2.99 super chat. It's very cool. I appreciate that very, very much. But yeah, the My Aquarium Box is awesome. So, I mean, if you do use that link there, that discount code, I believe it's $5 off your first My Aquarium Box. And I like still showing that out to people because I want them to go try it out because I think you'll get hooked. They've got a saltwater, freshwater box, both. And then they also have a lot of products. Like, you could just go to the website and you could buy hardscape. You could buy, they've got their own brands of fish food, filter media, all kinds of stuff. And that's what I love about it too, is that it's not just that subscription box, but you could literally, if there's something that you like that you get in that box, they give you they help you find out where you can get more of that. I don't know. It's a really cool thing. And I want to see them grow. So yeah, if you use that, you get that $5 off your first box and then you're hooked for life. I've been getting it now for almost 2 years, I think. And the boxes, if anything, just the boxes add up, and then I start having to find places for stuff. And I've got to give some more stuff away, like I was talking to you about before. Yeah, because there's stuff in there sometimes that you get that you don't really, I'm not going to use. I don't have any Pleco caves. They'll be a giveaway.
Or you could get some Plecos, Joseph.
No, not yet. No. No. I mean, I should have brought some ancestors back from Peru, but I know my boundaries. I think that's a smart thing to do when it comes to fish keeping too, is be responsible, research, know about your fish before you just go to the store and just impulsively buy something. I literally will set up a tank for 2 or 3 months before I even know what's going to go in it, and just, and then scape it for that species and then order the fish. Like, I literally had a black water aquarium. I actually honestly set it up for beta fish, but I had an aquarium that's been cycled for like 2.5, 3 months. As a black water biotope, tea-colored water. And then at least then, now you can be a little bit spontaneous, impulsive anyways. And like, Dan had some fish. He threw them up on his website, and they happened to be from Dan's Fish. He had some Gardner Eye killifish, P82s, and I knew I could grab them up. Like, I could be spontaneous because I had the tank for them, which was nice to be ahead of the game there. And so I just, impulsively just bought them, and now I have 4 Gardner Eye killifish in a blackwater aquarium, and I'll just set up another tank for those beta fish. Wild beta fish from where those are coming from. Those are coming from Amber over at Big City Betas, the wild beta fish.
Don't
That's another
beat
predator.
yourself up. We've all done it. How do you avoid an impulse purchase every now and then in this hobby? I don't know.
I don't know. It's gonna happen. I try to tell myself and tell other people I don't do that, but every once in a while, I think what happens to me too, I have to stay away from bad fish stores because that's when I want to do this like rescue thing. And then I'm supporting the fish store, and now I'm bringing home a fish that I might not have actually really wanted, but I'm just trying to save its life. And that's how I've ended up with a lot of crazy fish, like a Synodontis catfish and an eel. And
I think we have that in common as most of the people in the chat. Even I went and bought a betta. It's in my last video. Had some fin rot going on. It was very unhealthy in a pet shop.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I had to bring it home. And now I've had it for a year, and it is gorgeous. It's stunningly gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. It'd be one thing if you're in a community where you can actually like pass it on to somebody else, rehome it, like people would do in other kind of animal rescues, where you can actually rehome it. But I don't. It's like I'm taking it from other people. I'm getting it as a rescue in the first place. There was one place I was in an office building, and at a front desk, a secretary's desk, and they had a flower vase. This is an old video. People probably might have seen it, but it was a flower vase with a betta fish in it. And I was like, oh, like that's not cool. But I didn't say that. But I was commenting on the betta fish, and the lady was like, she knows me and my whole thing with fish. And she was like, do you want it? You can have it. Just take it. I'm like, are you serious? Like, she literally like didn't want it so bad. She just like gave it to me.
Oh my god.
Gave me the vase full of water and everything. Like it was a flower vase with some marbles in the bottom and a blue betta. And
oh, hey, that reminds me. I want to make this announcement. You heard it here first. Check out Green Oasis Farms.
Oh, right.
You've got to follow these guys. I just got back from Florida. I went to their farm and did some interviews with the guys down there. Michael Eugenio of Arizona and his brother Paul and their partner Chris DeSalvo. They've got a 5-acre farm down in Florida that is getting ready to just kind of rock our hobby world. And these guys have such a community spirit. They've got the works. They've got a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, eBay store, website. And I found on eBay, this is crazy. They do this thing where you can donate a betta. You purchase the betta, and they find someone who's maybe in a less fortunate situation, or receives a fish as a gift. So they're introducing people to the aquarium hobby with a betta. And this registered with me because I watched all the aquarium co-op videos, and Corey talks about his business model, which is a huge business now. I mean, he's on the scale with the big players now. He says his business mission is to convert a betta, which is the most common first fish, I guess, for people. He's scaled his business so that he wants to convert the betta keeper to an aquarium hobbyist. So the betta is a very key and fundamental, foundational piece of our hobby. And Green Oasis Farms has tapped into something there with this betta donation. And by the way, I got to see their bettas and filmed them. They're pretty spectacular. They've got them all, the crown tail, the koi, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something to keep an eye on. It's an upstart farm now. Michael's been around for years, however. They're a power seller on eBay. They do plants and fish, but they're getting ready to change the world with this farm. I'm anxious to see what's going on down there. So if you haven't discovered them or you're not aware of what's going on, now's the time to tune in.
Definitely. Yeah. With betta fish, it's a funny thing for me. Like I have mixed opinion on the betta fish. Like I feel like it has become a stereotypical like first fish to have, but as I've learned about the species, especially the splendens and stuff like that, I've learned in wild bettas, but specifically the splendens, is that they require a little bit more than some people think. So I feel like it's an awesome first fish as long as people are also being educated at the same time to not just keep it in a vase or in a gallon jar or something, and call that their home. And besides that, just they their slime coats can be very fragile. They're very susceptible to things like velvet and skin funguses and things like that. So like I feel like they're not the simplest fish to keep. Like I feel like guppies should be the best first fish personally. This is just my personal rant. But because I just feel like betas need a little bit more love. Like from my experience, guppies, you could throw them in anything. They can take hard water, they can take softer water, they can take black water, they can take a clear water tank, and they're pretty adaptable, and stuff like that. But I do think that it's a great idea, and I think that beta fish can still be kind of like one of those first fish. But like I said, there definitely needs to be some education that goes along with that, so that they don't just end up dying in a jar or a vase with in cold water with velvet, which happens a lot in the hobby. And so at the same time, I don't want to see that happen. I'd love for beta fish to be a good first fish.
Dwayne Kitchell joined the chat. He says the best first fish is convict cichlids.
If that's all you're putting in the tank, yeah. Funny guy. Well, but I like the idea what they're doing, and they definitely have some stuff that they're working on that I know that they got some projects that they're working on. I've been talking to Michael Eugenio about that, and I definitely look forward to seeing that farm. I want to go visit it myself.
You got to do it, Joseph.
Yeah, I could see myself like maybe just moving and working for them.
Oh yeah,
moving to Florida.
There's the deal. Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't be a bad place to be working. I'm actually even jealous right now of Priscilla MK Arts. She just got her new job is at a fish store.
Really?
Lucky her. Yeah. So like
awesome.
now she's
way to go, Priscilla.
And I keep seeing her like Instagram photographs of the fish store, of the aisles, racks, rows and racks of fish. And I'm like, man, I want to work in a fish store. That'd be awesome. Right now, I would take the pay cut, and live off of macaroni and cheese, do my YouTube channel, and work in a fish store. I would be happy though, and that's a big part of it. Anyways, it's been really nice chatting with you. I have to be honest. It's been like a long time coming. We talked about this collaboration years ago.
True.
And literally years ago. And it's nice that it's finally happening. And I really do appreciate everything that you're doing with the creation of the Team Green Alliance, and actually creating like an open creator space for specifically fish tubers or fish keeping content creators. And I do feel like it has a value in the community. And I mean, I spend some time there more so to help other people. There's always something to learn. And I think that's an important thing to remember in life. Just another life lesson is that nobody knows everything, and there's always somebody bigger. There's always someone to learn from. That's for sure.
Well, thank you for hanging out over there in the TGA and laying some help on us. You've accumulated a lot of experience, not only on YouTube, but we were talking before we went live. You've got a kind of a work history in the entertainment industry, involving the technology and the lights and the sounds and the filmography. So we definitely appreciate when you lay some knowledge on us, and you're welcome anytime. And we did take a minute to get together on this. Like I said, I'm slow on the uptake as far as the technology goes. So I appreciate you being patient with me there. And I really do appreciate you having me on, Joseph. I've been looking forward to this.
It wasn't you. We'll keep that in mind so everybody knows it's not your fault at all that like the other stuff didn't work. That Streamlabs, definitely something's going on between, I think it's on YouTube side. It's Google and YouTube. I don't blame Streamlabs OBS for it either, because they've been smooth. It's one of the smoothest softwares I've ever worked with. So it wasn't your fault. It wasn't Streamlabs. We blame this one. It's another YouTube stripping experience.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on, Joseph, and still over 40 people in the chat. Thank you guys very much for all of your kindness. I've been reading along. I haven't been able to chew gum and walk at the same time and respond to all of the chats, but thank you guys very much. It was awesome to get to hang out with you.
Yeah, and hang out a little longer. I feel like after that stuff not working out, it's like, whatever, I'm just going to have fun, and we're going to go screw an hour. We're just going to go with it. Just have some fun. But yeah, there's all kinds of awesome people. We have Mr. Science Geek. Congratulations again on the baby. I know it's been a while now, but he's slowly coming back into the community.
Papa.
Have to take a little bit of a you got a little bit of a break for that, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. Let's see who else. Just a bunch of Lisa's Fishbowl Life, Clara Hogan, everybody. Anyways, and Candy, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to share all those links, Team Green Alliance links and River Life's channel and all of my other stuff. Yeah, she's awesome. Best moderator in the world. And I'd really like to meet her in person. I wanted to come up there that last, what was it? There was a little bit of a gathering with her family up there and Priscilla and Michael from Mile High Placos and Jeff Rose Fishkeeping. Like they all got together a while back up there. I really wanted to go to that, but that, where was it that I had to go to? I think it was something else. Oh, Peru. That's why I couldn't go. Yeah, it's going to Peru. Man. Yeah, I had to go. We went to Peru, and so I missed while we were in Peru is when they were meeting up in Colorado and having a little barbecue and get together. But I definitely like to meet Candy. Hopefully, she can make it to one of these big conventions, social events where we can all kind of hang out and geek out and have dinner and lunch together. And I definitely look forward to that with you too, man. I'll see you at AquaShella. And
I'm looking forward to it already. We're going to hang, man.
I think at this point, there's going to be so many confirmed YouTubers. They're not going to be able to print us all on the back of a T-shirt. I think that if you're asking how many content creators are going to be there, I think it's going to get to that point. You get over 30 and there's not enough room on the back of the T-shirt anymore.
I have to start using long sleeve T-shirts.
Or the text's going to get really small. Yeah. But yeah, so once again, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for all your patience in the beginning. Blame it all on YouTube and Google. And thank you again, Rack, for your time and all of your support for the community. And I guess we should go ahead and get out of here. But thank you guys so much. You all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and your weekend. And remember, guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.
Thanks, Joseph. So long.